Okay. Here you go. Hey.
Good morning. Good morning, and welcome to Two Scoops Morning News with Dan and Craig. And I'm Craig, I
And
think.
I am also Craig.
You are. Here's the news.
You're watching Two Scoops Morning News with Dan and Craig, your sunrise reminder that things could get worse, so laugh at them while you still can.
Oh, this is so great. I don't even have the story pulled up just yet. So we are awesome at
Yeah.
this.
I-
You don't have it shared on your screen yet, so you're just as
Well,
awesome.
I assumed that you didn't since it wasn't showing up in my thing here, so I wasn't gonna.
You're just like, I'm not even gonna bother to remind him.
I'm not
me the
going to pretend like he is going to be ready because it's Thursday, and this is apparently the day that we're even less prepared, and it's a miracle that either of us showed up today. So
Yeah, it is. I saw that you hadn't posted anything on Twitter by 7. I'm like, I wonder if he's gonna do this again.
mm,
So, you got up early this morning because I know you wanted to talk about sports ball.
I mean, nothing wakes me up in the morning like sports balls.
I
Yeah,
mean, that's like
being the gay
your
that I am.
that's like the number one thing you like to discuss on your show is the
Mm-hmm.
sports. So,
No, you texted
we're
me last night about the thing that you were going to talk about, and or sometime I don't remember. Whatever. Time has no
it's like,
meaning. And I said, if you want to, because last Thursday we had the debacle of like 3 stories in a row that I already covered. I was like, if you ever, want a surefire way to make sure I haven't already covered something, talk about sports. I might nap
yes.
through it, but
No, this one you're gonna like.
okay.
Because this isn't really about sports, I guess, but it's about sports.
Right.
So,
Wow
this is
me.
like okay. Well, you see the, like, 6 paragraphs of the headline there.
Yes.
We're getting so bad at headlines because people have such short attention spans, but we're getting to the
I bet
point
the
where
article is shorter than the headline, isn't it?
yeah. Well, no, it's like they have to cram all the information in the headlines because they know people just scroll
Right.
and look headlines, but when I see a headline like this, typically, I'm probably not gonna read it anyway, but this one sounded fun.
Mm-hmm.
Um So you know enough about sports to know the culture of, like, football coaches and how they, like, yell profanity a lot of times and call, uh, young boys like Nancy's for being little pussies and shit.
I'm not familiar. I was
No?
always a very manly child who never experienced this.
Of course.
I
Yeah,
was always the one throwing the tires around or whatever jocks
yes,
do.
obviously. Well, Troy Aikman is in heat for basically talking like football coach language, and it's fucking stupid because, well, first of all, from what I hear, I don't watch the NFL really at all, but from what I hear,
Me neither.
it's getting really, really pussified because, like, um, so let me explain how football kind of works to you because I know you don't know. Uh,
I
the,
played
the
Madden 95 on the Sega
okay,
Genesis.
okay,
I
so
know
you might
everything about
be a little
sports.
familiar. So the center hikes the ball to the quarterback. The quarterback's the guy that throws the ball or yeah, or like instigates the plays. I know you don't know all this stuff, so I gotta
Fuck you.
down. And when the defense runs in and tackles the quarterback before he throws the ball, that's called a sack. Well,
Gay.
recently there's been yes, ball sack. Uh, who came up with these fucking names? Recently, and this year in a couple of games, there's been times when the quarterback gets sacked. Nothing, no more, no less. The quarterback just gets sacked, and they call roughing the passer on the defense because they sack. Well, yes, you fucking rough the that's the whole point of sacking is roughing the passer.
Is that
So
wrong? Did they punch him in the face?
No, they just sacked him, and then they get a penalty for roughing the passer.
Yeah, I don't know why this has never occurred to me before, but saying they totally sacked him sounds like it would be a violation of some rules in roughing the passer.
It really does. Anyways, Troy Aikman, he was a big time player back in the day. He's like old people know who he is. Apparently, I think
Dolphins. Was he the Dolphins? That's my guess.
I think so.
Wow.
I think
You don't even know.
I don't, but I think he was the
What a
the Dolphins.
nerd.
I know. Anyways, he I think is a football announcer. This is how much I know about this. Everything's like I think this and I think that.
Don't even know what team he played for as like
care.
when he was this big name celebrity guy.
No, I don't care. Anyways, the part that matters is he comes on and he's like, all these football players these days need to take their dresses off and play football. I mean, that's like normal football talk, in my opinion, from what I've heard of the football talks. I mean, is sexist, do you think? Misogynistic, bigotry?
Yes, all in one.
All of those things in one, right?
My question is, who was the most offended? Was it the women who were offended because he was saying if you're a woman you can't play football? I mean, I would never say something like that. I'm sure there's plenty of women on the team already, so for him to say something like that would be discriminatory.
But is it though? Even in that context, if there was women on the football team, is that discriminatory? Because nobody wears dresses on the field.
Not
whether
yet,
you're a woman,
you bigot.
Well, whether you're a woman or a man, you're wearing the freaking football pants and the butt pads and shit. So maybe they were wearing dresses, and he's like, can you fucking take your dress off and go play football? I mean, maybe we're taking this the wrong way. Maybe
they were
maybe
wearing
there
a
are
dress.
trans people on this football team.
Well,
They
that
were
was the other thing. Is it like something that's more offensive to women, or is it more offensive to the trans community? Because he's like, oh, men shouldn't wear dresses. And they're like, men should wear dresses. There should be dresses all over the football field. And I hope, personally, that the only outcome of this is that everybody in solidarity wears dresses just like they wore the BLM whatever shoes and shirts and stuff. All the obligatory things that they have to do have to wear for the NFL. I hear. When I only know about sports when it comes to politics, but
that's why I brought this up, because it's not really about the sports; it's about the politics.
Yeah, I know. I want to see where they all have to wear dresses now just to flagellate themselves or whatever.
Absolutely. So, so this is his comment after some what they call dubious roughing the passer calls, which I don't even know what that means.
Wait,
but
dubious roughing? That sounds very mild and passive. Just some dubious roughing.
Well, it's yeah. I'm not even gonna get into the calls because you don't.
Because you're afraid to realize that you don't know that much about sports after all.
I don't, and I don't. I know a lot about baseball. I say all the time, I don't fucking care about football. Anyway, that's not what this article is about. We're not going to break down the definition of dubious. Anyway, Troy Aikman's comment is, my hope is the competition committee looks at this in the next set of meetings and, we take the dresses off. That's all he said. Wow. And it says, regardless, see, this is my point. Regardless of the controversy behind the call, regardless of what dubious means, Dan, considering it happened
dubious. Dubious. Adjective. Doubtful. Marked by or occasioning doubt. A doubtful quality or property. Questionable. Of certain outcome. Wavering or hesitant in opinion. Inclined to doubt.
So regardless of if it was a dubious call and regardless of the definition of dubious, some NFL fans called out Aikman on Twitter for his sexist euphemism. Here we go. All right, here we go. Troy Aikman really needs to find a non-misogynistic way to critique the call behind the take the dresses off. That's number one. He adds, and I say this as someone who has heard this misogyny normalized by coaches as a kid and even participated myself. Way past time to end such sports talk.
Now,
Next.
when I heard or when I read the headline just quickly in passing yesterday, I saw Troy Aikman says sexist, take the dresses off remark or something like that. And
Mhm.
I'm like, was he talking to like a female reporter or something and being a total complete
No,
creep? No, no, not
no,
even.
not that. Not even close. So the next person says, did Troy Aikman really just say what I think he said?
Oh
Did he
God.
really just say that it's time for the league to take the dresses off? A radio show host wrote online. The 60s called. They want their chauvinists back. Do better than that.
And the
What
50s called. They want their jokes back.
what is C? What's a word that starts with a C and ends in a P and has two letters between? Because there's
Is it
I don't know.
crap?
Oh, okay. Why did we send? See,
Are these
it's so
people like
ridiculous. Why are we censoring out the word crap?
well, it's like the whole progressive everything is open, but then we need to start censoring because things are offensive. It's like the new real it's like the whole thing is a snake eating itself going back full circle to like you're not allowed to say these naughty sinful words and you're not even allowed to say crap now. That's how far we've gotten back toward I guess ultra toxic conservative in my opinion.
Right? Back full circle back. It's interesting how that works. I don't feel like "take the dresses off" is the euphemism ESPN wants Troy Aikman to use when criticizing a weak roughing the passer call. Maybe they do. Maybe they do want him to use that.
Maybe you should be happy that he didn't say what he was thinking because it started with an F and ended in a G and had one letter in between.
Yeah, and maybe that was him censoring himself by saying that instead of saying "quit being a bunch of pussies and faggots."
There you go.
Um, Catching up on
Nazi
MNF
fags.
exactly. Catching up on MNF and NF plus, whatever that is.
What? was that was that a 6-letter acronym? I'm not reading along.
MNF on NF plus. I don't know what it.
All right.
And Troy Aikman is driving me nuts. Not just with the infamous dress comment, but calling the protection of quarterbacks ridiculous in the face of what was done to Tagovailoa twice. I don't know.
Nailed it.
Anyway, this next one's better. Gotta say, Troy Aikman, a guy whose career ended early due to multiple concussions, saying the league needs to take off the dress or whatever. Safety is chef emoji, kiss emoji. They didn't even like post the emoji. They like spelled them out. Chef emoji and kiss emoji.
I kind
I
of
don't know
respect it because something about seeing journalists, quote unquote, post emojis in their articles these days really rubs me uncomfortably in like what's that movie? Ridiculous.
ridiculousness.
No, I don't remember the name of it. The Mike Judge
Oh,
movie. Y'all know what I'm talking about.
I know. Yeah.
It's too early.
Wow. Idiocracy.
That's the one. Yeah.
Not even close to what you were saying. Anyway, so basically this guy's saying, Troy Aikman, you left the NFL because of multiple concussions, and you're saying all these roughing the passer calls are ridiculous. You should be ashamed of yourself. And maybe it's all the multiple concussions that made him have all these like vomit of the mouth bigotry in the first place. Did you ever stop and think about that? Maybe
Yeah.
we should have a little more sensitivity towards Troy Aikman's mental condition, I guess.
And
Oh boy, Troy, a Chicago sports columnist reacted on Twitter. Aikman says on MNF what coaches say or used to say all the time. That is, complaining about roughness is a female dress thing.
mm,
Last one, the best one. Troy Aikman's
I'm
dress comment.
confused because this is saying
Troy Aikman's
complaining
dress.
about roughness is a female dress thing, and the next line says it's a transphobic thing.
That's what I'm saying. It's like this one says Aikman's dress comment was transphobic and cringeworthy. Do
Mhm.
better. Yeah. Okay. So basically, they're like, what you're saying is quit being weak, and you're comparing weakness to dresses, and dresses are a female thing, so you're saying females are weak, and um, I mean, is it is it that big of a fucking deal that he said this? I mean,
Yes.
yes, it's okay, fair enough.
I've been
Again,
offended this whole time.
all right.
I've got nothing. This is retarded. The whole thing is retarded.
Can't say that.
It's like the most mundane thing I would expect to hear from a
Man,
coach. Like it is so nothing that I don't care about the people who are angry about it, much less the comment. But yeah, it's like for the tiny bit of sports that I played in school, I heard worse from like junior high basketball coaches than
that's
this for grown ass men.
not like 5th grade basketball coaches. Yeah,
Hmm.
this is like a big nothing to a bunch of grown ass men from a grown ass man who, yes, came from an earlier time when things like this were, I guess, allowed to say, and I, I don't know.
It doesn't matter when. This is fine. This is stupid, and don't give them enough credit to say we're not allowed to say it anymore. You can say take off the dress, and if you're saying it to a man, it
Yeah,
probably makes more sense and is probably much less toxic masculine than it is to say it to a woman. I'm pretty sure.
you know what's interesting
What?
is not a single person that I've read the Twitter comments, like going back looking at their profiles, not a single one is a woman or, from what I can tell, transgender. We got Brandon Scott, Jason
Ugh.
Page, Chuck Modi, uh, somebody named Rockinanti, but it looks like an old dude. Maybe it's an old woman, but it looks like an old dude, but they all look the same.
Mm.
I've got Good Kid Dad City, so I'm guessing a man, Rick Tellender, and Josh Schmitz.
Mm.
How many women
Do
do
they
you
have the
think
right to
saw
speak for those women? I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
okay, from what I know about women that really get into football and would really listen to whatever the fuck Troy Aikman would say,
There's a lot of them.
but any woman that would do like, put them like, diehard sports ball watchers,
Is a lesbian.
do you know no, no, I'm not even saying that. Do you know what that woman would say when that roughing the passer call got called? Do you know what that woman would say?
Probably something worse.
"Take off your fucking dress and play football." That's
Yeah.
exactly what she would say. Like, I've seen female sports watchers that are way more, like, aggressive about their sports watching than, most males I've seen, and so, for all these, like, straight white males getting all up in arms and their panties in a bunch, most of them probably don't watch sports, most likely. I mean, it does say they're sports writers, but it's like, I I don't fucking know. This is retarded.
Do you have to leave in 7 minutes?
I hope so. Go. Change.
Oh, yeah. You got my subtle hints there. So in other news, speaking of angry white men or something, I don't know, because your entire article was about angry white men. It was about an angry white coach and then a bunch of angry white people yelling at the angry white coach for being angry and white. Anyway, speaking of that, Alex Jones, have you heard about this guy? He was ordered to pay nearly $1 billion, a fabricated number, a number that makes absolutely no sense in reality, to families of Sandy Hook massacre victims. It was reported earlier on, about, I don't know, 2 weeks ago, that it was like $50 million. And we were all like,
How do we
that's
go
a.
from 50,000,000 to 1,000,000,000? Well,
Everybody was like, I doubt he has $50 million. That seems like a pretty high amount, but I don't know. And then they're like, actually, one $1 billion. Like,
the 50,000,000 was for one family, like one of the people that were suing him, and then I remember they had said at the end of the, because I was like, "Yeah, he's not gonna have 50 whatever,
million.
$1,000,000." And then I read the end of the article, and they're like, 2 or 3 more lawsuits are coming up in the future. It's like, "Oh god, where's this gonna go?"
Yeah,
And here it
it's
is. This is where it's gonna go.
what do you do? What do you do? Does he get the death penalty because he's never going to have $1 billion no matter how long he lives?
Yeah, that's a funny thing to me, is because they made it very clear point during his 50,000,000 trial, Alex Jones probably doesn't have $50,000,000, and so the jury judge or whoever made the stupid call was like, you know what? Just for that, let's go more. Let's go harder. 1 billion.
Mm-hmm.
And uh, like all you can see the emotions on the video where they're making the announcement of the people that sued that are getting of the victims, I guess, the victims' families. And they're all like, "Oh, like so happy and stuff and like so relieved." It's like, "What are you relieved about? You're not going to see a dime of that
Right.
shit." What, like
Not only that, but no matter how long it is, there's something weird about acting overjoyed that you're getting paid for
your
your
child's
dead
death.
kid. Like, and this is from FoxNews.com, so you know it's legit. And their tag to this is Alex Jones spread lies about the Sandy Hook shooting on his Infowars show.
All right.
Like, that's it. Like, that's it. That's his crime. And it sounds so nothing right here, in my opinion.
does.
And like that's all they have. It's just like he said some things about some people, and now he has to pay the cost of a medium-sized country to because he said some lies on his radio show.
Do you know why they put that tag on there?
Why?
So it would look so mundane that people like us would read that and be like, "Oh shit, you can get in that much trouble for spreading
Right?
lies on your show? Like $1 billion?" When in reality, yeah, Alex Jones did kind of attack like the actual parent, not attack physically, but like went after and called like got in the face of the actual parents and stuff like that and called out them out
Are
by
you
name.
sure?
There on at least on his show, he was, like, smearing their names and stuff, and that's why, some of them got more money than the others, because if it was just, "Hey, I lied about all of Sandy Hook all across the board," they would all get the same amount of money, but they didn't all get the same amount of money because there was, like the one guy I think got the most was the guy that laughed before, and we're gonna get a $1 billion lawsuit for me saying this, but was, like, laughing and chuckling before he went out, and then all of a sudden he
Yeah.
was, like, sad. That's the guy I think that got the most money because he
Was it
smeared.
Posner?
I don't know.
So yeah, 6 adults and 20 children. We know all that. Jones repeatedly told millions of listeners on his Infowars show that the shooting was a hoax and the victims were crisis actors hired as part of a scheme to impose gun control laws. Like, there's really no there's no justification for this, and there is nothing new to this story than what we knew like years ago, even since the beginning of the court case. It's really just the same thing over and over again. He said some mean things about some people. It's not nice. I understand that it's not nice to say mean things about people who have had allegedly bad
Sure.
things happen to them. But
Literally, the definition of mean things is it's not nice. So
right,
thanks for clearing that up.
yeah, if you need me to look up the definition to prove it, I can do that. But
No, I think
um,
we're good.
it's not nice, and whether it's fake or not, whether Sandy Hook is a hoax, since we're on Craig's channel, or not.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah, I don't know. I've heard like mixed things. Like I've heard Alex Jones say repeatedly, like I did like two things covering this story, and I barely talked about it, or like I
No,
don't know, like maybe 4 or 5 or something, like just a small handful. I'm like, I feel like I remember you doing, and I feel like it would be. There's part of me that's like, am I misremembering something? Because there's no way that you would be that brazenly lying, because they could easily find out. They could easily go look at all the episodes that you did on the topic at the time and find out. But he says that it wasn't very much. They say it was, or at least they make it sound like it was over and over again, and he was harassing them in the streets and stuff. I think it was more his people harassing them than it was him specifically harassing them. And that was so they're like trying to destroy him entirely. If you believe this, if you don't think that Alex Jones is like a controlled opposition or whatever, as I do, but if you believe this, then yeah, they're trying to destroy his entire existence basically, and for words, I'm fine with there being some damages if he like harassed them or convinced people to harass them for years and years or whatever. I'm fine with something, but this is like an amount of money that just makes absolutely zero sense. How does a judge come to this conclusion of, because you said mean thing, now you have to pay $1 billion.
It's always made me question, like, how do you put a monetary value on, like, work?
Right.
Like libel lawsuits or, slander lawsuits. It's like, how did you come to that's the monetary value of the damages caused? I mean, I understand, like, medical lawsuits or, like, car crash lawsuits, or it's like you can add up the value, like, "Well, we lost this many work days, we have this many medical bills, plus I really fucking hurt," and that one's always like an arbitrary amount too. It's like, "Well, for your pain and suffering, we're giving you X amount of dollars." Like, how much is pain and suffering
No,
worth?
no, no, Judge. I hurt more than that. It's like on the smiley face scale that you have at the doctor's office. It's like the big frown, the really
Yeah,
sad frown.
the
So
one
how
that's,
much
like,
is that
all
worth?
the way to the
How many
jowl.
dollars? Yeah, you
Yeah.
in the courtroom they've got that smiley face scale, and then they've got dollar amounts underneath.
Yes, absolutely. I would point at the frowny face every time.
The judge is just
Um
holding the chart up, and he's like, "Oh, you look like about a 1 billion, I'd say."
Yeah, but how do they come to a monetary value for words though? It's like, well, the C word is worth this much and the FAG word is worth so much. It's like, do they have a scale like a number scale for words? Because like you were saying, this is for especially this one. This one is so fucking made up. And the part that pisses me off the most is that in the first trial, the 50 million trial, um, I think it was either the judge or the lawyer. I think it was the judge that was like, "We're gonna make sure that not only does your business get folded, but you will never have the opportunity to start anything
Right.
ever again." Is almost verbatim what they said. It's like, no, we're not only gonna ruin what you did that caused all this problem, but we're going to wreck you forever for the
Right.
rest of your life. And it's like, how is that like fair trial to
Right.
just like what isn't there like supposed to be like some kind of hey, let's like rehabilitate you back into society to be a good human? Even I don't know if that's how it is with civil suits, but I would think to be like, no, we're just gonna wreck you indefinitely for the rest of your life. That just
If they
that's
have a case for that, like he's such a danger that they need to destroy his life, shouldn't they be putting him in prison?
yeah,
Or
yeah.
like giving him the death penalty? Like this is the closest it's like we know that we can't quite go to like it was a crime enough that he needs to be arrested and put in
This
prison. So we'll
this
just
is
do the next best thing and take his entire life while he's here, but let him still flop around in existence.
It's because this is a civil trial, a civil court trying to act like a criminal trial in a criminal court. It's saying you are guilty, we're going to end your life, but we're civil case, so we can't put you
Right.
in jail.
Yeah. This is like Judge Judy shit, and they're $1 billion.
Judge Judy on a fucking power trip.
Yeah, I would say things like this, whether or not they're orchestrated or planned or whatever, they work very well in the favor of people who don't want any other little Alex Joneses going around, you know, looking into things, asking questions, talking about things that are shady. By the way, there's an episode of my show out there with a guy named his name rhymes with Wolfgang Walbig on this very topic, and he's disappeared from the face of the earth lately. He was
Yeah,
involved in the trial as well, but
that that's not good.
they don't want they don't seem to like people talking about this stuff, and I don't think it's so much about the protection of the families as it is they don't want people talking about this stuff. But
Mm,
that's
yeah,
just
that
that's
sounds
just my
closer.
crazy theory.
Yeah,
And
but
again, whether or not that's their goal, it's working that way. It's going to terrify people into saying things like that.
yeah, specifically with those that headline that's like Alex Jones got slammed with $1 billion for telling lies, and it's like, oh shit, I better stop
That's
lying on.
Fox News.
Yeah,
Imagine how CNN's reporting on it.
right. It's like you better not tell lies, folks. Well, you saw you talked about it yesterday, so we don't have to get into it. But the whole PayPal thing, where they come out and they're like, if you tell lies, we're gonna take $2,500 from you just because we want to. And it's like,
Because we're
how do you?
wholesome and we don't believe in lying. That's a sin.
How do you even
Again,
come up with that shit?
full circle conservatism and censorship of speech and stuff.
Absolutely. It's
It's
like, how do you come up with a thing where it's just like, you told a lie, we're taking money from you? It's like, did their lawyers not look at this and say, you can't do that. You can't do that. That's
no.
illegal.
They know
Uh,
that they can if they wanted to. They just know that it would hurt their business. And yeah, their whole justification was, "Oh, we didn't mean to put that out there." But
somebody took
why
it up.
did you write it down to begin with? Why did you think it? Something is
Yeah,
going on here, whether you meant to or not. You didn't just it wasn't just autofill, and it said an autofill or autocorrect on your phone was like $2,500 if you misinformation, disinformation bullshit.
yeah, that's pretty specific to like accidentally pocket type. Like you got your phone unlocked in your pocket and just types up some random bullshit. That's pretty specific.
Right.
I don't know. That's that's all.
Yeah, yeah. It's and we could talk a lot, but it's 7:36, and I think we are over time. So if you
We
would like to do the thing,
I would like to do the thing. You can find things at my things specifically at breakthebellpod.com or all over the social medias at Break the Bell Pod on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and who knows where else, but it's at Break the Bell Pod. Find me and listen and do that shit.
and you can and you can find me at thesystemsdown.tv or on Twitter at tsidpod or a bunch of other things at thesystemsdown.tv, all the links and stuff. And that is 2 scoops. Take the fucking dress off and go play some football.
Yes.
This has been 2 Scoops Morning News every Tuesday and Thursday at 7 a.m. Central or whenever we feel like it. Until next time, hang in there, America.